What's going on, everybody? Time now for our Rangers update. The Rangers and Brewers are about a little under an hour away from beginning the final exhibition game of the 2021 season before the real thing begins. That's going to be for the Rangers on Thursday against the Royals in Kansas City. First pitch scheduled for just past 3 o'clock in the Metroplex. So tons of fun there. It's going to be Kyle Gibson versus Brad Keller there. And so we actually spoke with Kyle today. And one of the things I asked Kyle about was whether or not physically he feels like he's in a much different place going into this year than last year with everything his body had been through with the ulcerative colitis challenges. And he wouldn't give me a definitive yes because he didn't want to make an excuse. It was pretty easy to read between the lines, but he did give several hints that he just feels like he's in a much better place. But he did offer up that last year, while he might have been in some level of denial physically, that there was a mechanical issue that really plagued him. And I asked him about it, and he said that when he was in the stretch with runners on, he felt like he got squatty, that his body was not starting in an athletic position to deliver a pitch. And that it was actually before his start last year, late in the season against the Houston Astros, that came on September 26th, his final start of the year, where he sort of made that identification and was pointed out to him, and he went 6 scoreless. Now, that's not to suggest he's going to go 2021 without giving up a run or anything, but he said that he made that identification before that start, and he really felt a lot more comfortable. It's also worth noting, I apologize, it was his final 3 starts in which that was the case. His first start against Houston, he went 9 scoreless, had a complete game shutout and a 1-0 win. And then 2 starts later went 6 scoreless against the Astros. Now, sandwiched in between, he gave up 8 runs over 4 innings against the Angels. So, again, it wasn't this magical elixir, but he did identify it as a challenge. And when I looked at the numbers for Kyle with runners on versus no runners on, he actually yielded a higher batting average with nobody on, but the slugging percentage was much less. So Kyle had a big problem with runners on, giving up extra base hits. He gave up 8 home runs with runners on base, only gave up 4 with nobody on in fewer opportunities. The slugging percentage with runners on was right around 500, and that's basically facing an all-star caliber slugger every time you're facing someone with runners on, essentially. So be interesting to see as the season progresses. We're not just going to base it off of one start, but how Kyle does with runners on versus nobody on, and whether he's been able to maintain some of the changes that he made from a mechanical standpoint. Speaking of starting pitching, Chris Woodward shared with us today that Dane Dunning will be the front end of the tandem in the 5th game of the season. That's the 2nd home game against the Blue Jays. Still did not offer up out of Wes Benjamin and Taylor Hurd, who'd be backing up Jordan Lyles, who'd be backing up Dane Dunning. Both those guys are lefties. Hurd and Benjamin, both Dunning and Lyles are righties. So they are going to go right, left with those tandems. Finally, I did ask, last update for today. So in the lineup today, Nate Lowe's the DH, Ronald Guzman's the first baseman. Yesterday, Nate Lowe was at first base, and I asked Chris Woodward, even though I think it's understood that Ronald Guzman's the better defensive player right now, if they are both in the lineup, would Nate Lowe play more first because he has kind of earned the first base job? And Chris Woodward said, yes, there will be times when Nate Lowe DHs and Ronald Guzman plays first, but because they've named Nate Lowe the first baseman, they want him to get the reps. They want him to get the opportunities to continue to grow. It's not like he's a huge liability or anything at first. Chris Woodward did concede that if it was a 1-game playoff right now, Ronald Guzman would play first. But remember, this Rangers season doesn't have the urgency of a 1-game playoff. And so they want to give Nate Lowe the opportunity to grow at first base, but there will be times when he's the DH and Guzzi is at first base. And of course, I'm sure there'll be times when Nate Lowe gets a day off and Guzzi's at first base and someone else is the DH. There you go. That's our Rangers update for today. Rangers Brewers coming your way. It's a webcast for us on the radio side. TV will be in action today for those who want to watch. Excited to chat with you. Also going to do a Q&A tomorrow. So if you have any questions you'd like me to answer, just tweet me at Jared Sandler. We'll make sure to get those in. Talk to y'all later.